Hello everybody, welcome back to the Nibiru channel. It is March 16th, 2017, and we've all seen them in the skies above. The chemtrails. One of my subscribers forwarded me an article, and the title of the article was NASA Confesses. Well, very rarely does NASA confess about anything. I don't know how much truth there is in the story that we're about to read, but I can tell you this much. There is absolutely no doubt in my mind there are multiple uses for these chemtrails, and none of them are good. Now, I was a little startled whenever I read this, this first article. It kind of made me pretty mad. NASA confesses to dousing Americans with airborne lithium and other chemicals. Now, this article came out April 7th, 2016. And why in the hell would they be dousing Americans with lithium? An antipsychotic drug? What are they, crazy? But once again, ladies and gentlemen, like I have said before, they want you to be docile and they want to dumb you down. They want to keep that knowledge base inside of your brain very limited. Lithium, well, I guess if you get a good enough dose of it every day, that's exactly what it will do. Dumb you down. No pun intended, but keeping your head in the clouds. But preventing you from looking into the sky, which each and every one of us should be doing more frequently. But getting into this article, the more and more I read, the madder I got. It says here, there's the official explanation for why NASA is spraying lithium, a pharmaceutical drug most often used to treat people with manic, depressive, or bipolar disorder. No wonder people are acting so crazy around the world. They're being given pharmaceutical drugs to treat people who actually have manic depression or who are bipolar. Are they actually creating the condition, bipolarism? They're spraying this into the ionosphere. It further states that it would be easier to accept NASA's official explanation if they were not so secretive about everything they study and do in outer space. But one thing is for certain. NASA's own personnel have admitted that lithium, along with other chemicals, are intentionally being placed in our environment regularly. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know about you and where you live, but they chemtrail the entire east coast of the United States every freaking day. And I think there are multiple reasons why they're doing this. Now, I'm going to leave a link for this article, and there's a secondary article that goes all the way back to 2010 talking about the compounds they were using back then. This really, really makes me upset, because it's bad enough that we don't have clean air to breathe, but yet we're slowly being poisoned, and we're paying for it with our tax dollars. Can you only imagine how much money it costs to put all of those planes in the sky every single day around this country? And ladies and gentlemen, this is not the only country that they do this in. They're doing this around the world. Are they trying to dumb down the entire world? Probably. You can't even take your child to get a shot because God only knows what is in that syringe. We've all heard about the whole entire vaccination issue. Thank God I was never vaccinated. Never allowed either of my children to be vaccinated. I fought with the pediatrician. I felt like knocking him out. Because I asked him, what's in that syringe? Let me read the ingredients to what you are about to inject into my child. I changed doctors. I found a very fantastic holistic doctor that raised my children all the way into their teenage years. Never any medical problems whatsoever. Nothing. But yet there are people around the world who have children and deal with autism and many other illnesses. This is just absolutely insane to spray things into our sky. Further on in this article, once you keep reading this, your temper is going to flare. This talks about the feasibility of aerosol vaccinations in humans. What in the hell do they think we are? Guinea pigs? We're living, breathing human beings. Are they crazy? Probably. Probably. So I guess they thought that, okay, well, the people won't let us vaccinate them, so we'll just kill them slowly, make them nuts, by spraying things into the ionosphere. Huh. Wow. The article keeps on going on and on about, well, this talks about a U.S. Supreme Court decision, blah, blah, blah. Then it talks about many nations are participating in this unwitting forced vaccination. Huh. Yeah. You know, ladies and gentlemen, and it's not like we can't go outside and then what? Hold your breath? We all know that's an impossibility. But once again, you have these 5 nations that are all stuck together. The U.S., Canada, the U.K., New Zealand, Australia. They're all chemtrailing the living hell out of their people. All of Europe. You don't have to chemtrail in China. That's the whole entire world's pollution, air pollution. This really, really makes me mad. Now, I've done further research into chemtrailing, and last September I was able to interview a pilot, a professional pilot, airline pilot, who retired, and after 5 years of retirement, he had the itch to fly again. Good friend of his that he flew with for many, many years for American Airlines was now flying for a geoengineering company. He wanted to get back up in the air after being retired for 5 years. The man was in absolutely great physical shape for 60 years old. Never in his life a major medical problem. But yet, he takes this job for a geoengineering company and he starts flying chemtrail planes. Now, back then, they didn't know what was in the body of the plane. They were not told anything. This man worked 5 years for this geoengineering company, And then all of a sudden, he started having problems swallowing, even liquids. He went to the doctor, and they found that he had a very rare form of cancer that was growing in the side of his neck and choking his jugular vein. He was pretty set back by all of this because he had never in his life been sick or ill or had any medical problems. The man was tough. So now he's faced with a large tumor in the side of his neck. Went through the radiation. They told him after the radiation, we'll shrink the tumor and then we're going to try to remove it. Well, they cut the side of his neck open. They removed as much of the tumor as they can, but then they had to remove his tongue. So now the man couldn't talk. He was definitely not able to fly anymore because he could not pass his physical. His life ruined. An explanation? Zero. None. He had to eat using a feeding tube, laying on the floor 3 times a day, taking pain medications that would knock out a horse. So, whenever I had a chance to speak with him through his wife, and he had to write everything down for his answers, he started showing me these horrible sores, open lesions on his legs, his back, his arms, his face. Horrible situation. Made me very sad. Joe died right before Christmas. The co-pilot, his friend, he died also. These gentlemen were exposed to something. Both of them were very healthy, and they both suffered a horrible death. But for what? So they can chemtrail the skies, induce all of this crap around the world into our rivers, our lakes, our streams, our oceans. It's bad enough we got Fukushima over there in Japan leaking radiation into the ocean. I used to love tuna fish. I won't eat anything coming out of the ocean. I don't care where it came from. You open up a can of tuna, it glows in the dark. Ridiculous. These people are out of control running the world. Then I started, digging into what these compounds were. Besides the lithium to what? Make you nuts? Dumb you down? Huh. Yeah. This article comes from May 9th, 2010. Heading, Chemtrail chemicals confirmed. Barium and aluminum. Okay, well, aluminum has been linked to Alzheimer's. Why would they be spraying particles of aluminum in our ionosphere? Are they trying to block something out? Are they trying to bounce solar radiation back into space? High possibility. We definitely know that we have something wrong within our solar system. The massive amount of coronal holes on our sun for the last 2 years and the last half of 2016, now leading into 2017, that situation with the coronal holes on our sun is still there, steadily increasing. Solar winds pounding the earth almost every single day. Radiation levels around the world skyrocketing. Is anybody paying attention? There are some. Is the whole world recognizing this? Absolutely not. To be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, we need a worldwide awakening. And I think sooner or later, much sooner than later, we are going to get this awakening. We should have every single right as human beings on this earth to wake up every morning, step outside, and breathe fresh, clean air that is not polluted with chemicals and pharmaceuticals by our own damn governments. And then when you look up in the sky, excuse me, and all you see is the big tic-tac-toe patterns, and you see these planes racing back and forth like lunatics to block out the sun. That's not geoengineering. Geoengineering, in my mind, is making it rain for farmers that are going through drought. That's geoengineering. These people are using geoengineering for war. They used it back in Vietnam. But that wasn't too smart, because they were actually creating all of these massive rainstorms on the Vietnamese people, but the U.S. soldiers were underneath these clouds of rain also. So did that really help? Flooding out the rice, the little rice paddies? I mean, who in the hell are these people running our governments? I have an idea. They're probably all in for a rude awakening. But that's what we need. That's what we need as a people. We need the awakening amongst ourselves. Can we stop this? I doubt it. Are we going to have to walk around like some of the folks over in Japan, where they literally walk around with a respirator or a medical mask on their face? Where are these things coming from? Never in my life as a child did I ever hear of bird flu. People dying from the flu with our medical technology today in 2017. We can't even breathe fresh air. One thing I have noticed, whatever they are spraying in the sky has changed. No longer are they producing these big, heavy, puffy clouds after they chemtrail. Whatever they're spraying now dissipates very quickly, and it creates a very large canopy of haze that stretches across the entire sky. It blocks out the sun, but you can still see the sun. You can still see the light of our precious sun. But what are they really trying to hide? Once this thin canopy stretches out all across the sky, does that prevent you from taking photographs as we are trying to investigate what is in our solar system, what is in our skies? Well, you're damn right. What are you going to take a picture of? A cloudy sun? A cloudy sky? Hell, we can get more photographs of chemtrails around the world than we can of planets that we know of. The conspiracy is so deep, it stinks. And I'm sure that after you read both of these articles, it's going to change your mind every single time you walk out that door and you breathe this crappy air. Whatever they're spraying, it's garbage. And they have an agenda. The agenda doesn't include us. We all know what the deal is. We know exactly what the deal is. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave a link to both of these articles. When you have time, get in there, read these articles. Like I say all the time, keep yourself informed. Keep yourself updated. and stay tuned. Nobody is going to give you this information in mainstream media. You cannot believe anything that you see. You know, nowadays, you can't even believe the weatherman because the weatherman is so confused what's happening. They tell you that it's going to snow, but the next day, it's 60 degrees in February. The day after Christmas, everybody on the East Coast, yeah, they were running around in shorts. It was 62 degrees. Global warming, I'm not buying it. Climate chaos, we have that going on as we speak. Time for all of us to get our heads out of the clouds, join up together, because I'm going to be honest with all of you. Coming to YouTube, getting some of this information. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, over the course of the last year, I have met some very intelligent people that are creators on YouTube. They have their own YouTube channels. They produce videos every single day. Conspiracy theorists? Nah. These are smart people. Very educated, and they're out for the truth, just like I am. And we are ridiculed and kicked around every single day because we want to bring you the information that you're not going to get from mainstream media. You're not going to get it from your newspaper. You know, I later found out that the USGS, NOAA, all of these alphabet soup agencies, they're all under gag orders. They can't talk about anything. So then we wonder why we can't get information from them. They're probably scared to say anything. I spoke with one gentleman 6 months ago that told me that he had to sign paperwork that prevented him from disclosing anything that he saw or did at his job for the government for 30 years. He said to me, Scott, I'm not even going to live another 30 years. Non-disclosure. Keep your mouth shut, whether it's hurting people or not. Absolutely sickening. We have destruction going on all over the world. Do they care? Some governments do. The big ones? Nah. They don't care. Tax dollars are rolling in. The elite are doing whatever they want. Sooner or later, that's going to come to an end. It's going to come to an abrupt halt. This is Scott from the Nibiru channel. Thank you for watching.